Hi, GenderBlenders. Welcome to week 59. And the topic this week is, given the plural of gender, is it appropriate to use an umbrella term such as transgender to catch all for any individual who is gender variant in some way? If so, why? If not, what other term or what other approach would you recommend? A very interesting question. Very complex question. I don't think there's any simple answer to it. But let's see if we can apply a couple of terms. I did a Google definition of transgender, define, transgender. You know how to do that, right? Excuse me. And Google has definitions all over the map, from pure binary terms to including groups, cross-dressers, all kinds of different things. And I don't think we all understand or mean the same thing when we say a group is transgendered as we would an individual. But that's a little different. However, if you take a look at, if there's a common consensus, it seems to apply that transgender is such that a person's gender is different. And that's one of the terms, trans, is different than the norm. So different can mean a lot of things. It can mean opposite. It can mean anywhere in between. You folks know that I'm a engineer, right? So you also know that I have a couple sisters, right? So now I have to give you a really, really bad engineering joke. Since I'm trans and I'm my sister's sister, that would make me a transistor, right? Ooh, I heard that. But I made that joke on purpose, because it actually applies to the question, does a transistor actually work as a binary device? Well, yes, it does. It's in your computers. Can it work other than a binary device? Yes, of course it can. And are all transistors the same? No, they're not. And now you know I had to do this, of course. Here's a power transistor. Kind of looks like this big thing. A smaller version of the same kind of a thing. Here's a different transistor. Kind of looks like a satellite. I hold it up right. You can see that it's got 4 ears on it and a mounting stud. That's a very different kind of a transistor. An old style transistor. Oops. This one is probably older than most of you folks. I think I got it in the 50s. Different style transistors. Kind of look different. And different. See, transistors don't have to look all the same, do they? They don't have to be all the same, do they? And they can serve many different purposes. This kind here, and now I have to show you kind of a modern transistor. If I can, there it is. Here's a little teeny thing. I don't know if I can get up close enough such that you can. Now it's going to get out of focus. It's a little teeny thing. As you can see, I have to hold it up with tweezers. And there you can see how small it is. But that's a transistor as well. Some of them are called bipolar transistors. They can come in 2 different flavors. So is that what we mean by gender? But they can also come in absolutely different types. They can come as bipolar. They can come as MOS, having no junctions in them. 1 junction, 2 junction, 3 junctions. And so you have all different kinds of variations. Kind of applies to what we're talking about, doesn't it? See, this little device here, it's a MOS transistor. And a very similar one, this little guy with the hole in it, is a bipolar transistor. They perform otherwise similar functions, but they're totally different kinds of devices. Like, I perform a similar function to what I used to perform in my old self, but I'm a different self. So there's a little bit of difference, isn't there, from one person to the next, to the next, to the next. But guess what? That same term, transistor, applies. So now here comes the leap of faith. If that works, would that term transgender apply to not only people that identify with the opposite gender, but with any variation in between that you care to name? Variations could be left and right, could be back and forth, could be up and down, could be anywhere in that volume. So those are a little different kinds of ideas, but just like transistor applies to many different ideas for transistors, transgender might apply to people with different variations. So gender variant folks can be covered. Should they be? Oh boy, that is a different question. I don't know. I really don't know whether it's a good idea or a bad idea to try to come up with yet a new term. Would it remove the ambiguity, or would it add still more ambiguity? And I don't know. That's a really tough question. So maybe gender variant, if you are gender variant and you don't choose to use the term transgender, maybe gender variant is a better term for you. Maybe you're happy with the term transgender. How about transsexual? Now you have to get into a slightly different arena. Boy, it's just like there's a whole bunch of definitions out there for transgender, there's just as many definitions out there for transsexual. And I guess if I had to boil all of that down and come up with a common term, transsexual seems to be a transgender who has, and now here comes the legal beagles, get their little fingers in the pie, seems to be a transgendered person who has gone through some sort of non-reversible, whatever that means, surgery to alter their sex. So now they become transsexual. What's not defined, and I tried to actually get this definition from transgender law folks up in San Francisco, and I couldn't get it from them. I couldn't get it from anyone. The definition of what is required for some sort of surgery, and that's purposely left ambiguous. So everyone leaves their things ambiguous. So anyway, that's my 2 cents on the terms transgender, transsexual, gender variant, trans variant, all of the above. I hope that was entertaining at least, and you got to see a whole bunch of little transistors. Now I have to go put them away. Thanks, folks. Until next week, this is Steffi saying bye-bye.